Welcome back to our weekly market wrap-up. Equity indices declined as Trump's 25% tariff on steel and aluminum raised trade concerns, impacting Indian exports. The rupee hit a record low, keeping investor sentiment cautious amid ongoing trade talks. So stay tuned, and by the end of this video we'll unpack the key drivers behind these losses and what lies ahead. This week, Sensex fell by 2.4% and Nifty 50 dropped by 2.7%. The mid-cap lost 6.8%, while the small-cap slumped 8.1%. These movements reflect investor reactions to Trump's tariff announcement, trade concerns, and weakening market sentiment. Let's take a look at this week's key economic updates. India's forex reserves rose by $1.05 billion to $630.6 billion for the week, ended January 31st, following a $5.5 billion rise in the previous week. This marks the second consecutive weekly increase, despite recent declines due to revaluation and RBI interventions to curb rupee volatility. Meanwhile, retail inflation eased to a 5-month low of 4.3% in January 2025, down from 5.2% in DEC, driven by lower food prices. Globally, the UK economy grew by 0.1% in Q4, defying expectations of a contraction, according to preliminary data. In China, CPI rose 0.5% YOY in January, up from 0.1% in December. In the US, CPI increased by 0.5%, with core CPI up 0.4%, raising concerns over persistent inflation. PPI also exceeded forecasts, rising 0.4%, while annual PPI remained steady at 3.5%. Among this week's top gainers, Godfrey Phillips India Limited surged 30.4% after announcing strong Q3 FY25 results, showcasing significant year-on-year profit growth. Redington Limited gained 7.5% following an impressive quarterly performance marked by record revenue and profit growth. Bharti Airtel Limited rose 6.0% on the back of heavy trading volumes. On the downside, among the losers we had Natco Pharma Limited plunged 33.4% after weak Q3 results revealed a substantial decline in profits. Concord Biotech Limited dropped 27.7% following a year-on-year decline in net profit. Sonata Software Limited fell 23.8% as a major client scaled down operations, impacting margins and profits. NCDEX expands beyond agriculture, entering equities and derivatives with a Rs 400 pals, 600 crore investment. Sterlite Power reports a record order book, aiming for global expansion. Other high-interest unlisted companies include MSEI, NSE, Apollo Green Energy, Farmesi, CSK, NSDL, and Tata Capital. That wraps up this week's market highlights. Here's what to watch in the week ahead. Next week, market sentiment is expected to remain cautious amid concerns over tariffs and a weakening rupee. While recent Modi-Trump talks provide some optimism for a trade deal, sustained recovery is unlikely until FII selling slows. A weaker dollar and lower US bond yields could support stability. Investors are likely to continue favoring large-cap stocks over mid and small caps. Japan's Q4 GDP growth rate will be released on the 17th of February 2025, followed by Japan's balance of trade data for January on the 19th of February 2025. On the same day, the US building permits data for January will also be announced. That's all for today. Subscribe to Ticona Capital for more insights and wealth-building opportunities from the themes of the decade. Visit us at ticonacapital.smallcase.com to explore thematic investments in the Amrit Kaal. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. See you next week.